Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net, and it is Friday the 28th of August. Thanks again for watching as we rapidly head towards the bank holiday weekend. Bank holiday Monday causing some problems weather-wise at the moment. More on that in just a second. Getting to the end of our fundraising month as well. We've been raising funds for Macmillan right the way through August. Thank you so much for your donations so far. If you've not given yet, there is still time to do so. Go to justgiving.com/weatherweb and you can make your donation there. Or you can also donate via text message as well. Just send the message WWEB99 and then the figure you want to donate. We've said £10 on there to 70070. Thanks so much for your generosity. Basically what you're doing is giving in lieu of the fact that you've used WeatherWeb completely free of charge for the last year, and we donate all those funds straight across to Macmillan Cancer Support, and we've raised over £2,000 so far, so thank you very much for that. Now, the bank holiday forecast causing us some problems at the moment. It's a forecasting headache. Just compare the midnight run and the 6 o'clock run of the GFS model. These are the midnights. We've got surface pressure on the right hand side here, big area of high pressure look out in the Atlantic, bringing a northerly flow. Quite an unstable northerly flow. Showers forecast in that flow, particularly across more northern and eastern parts of the country. And the 500 millibars showing the trough look extending down through western Norway, across Scotland and into Ireland, and then almost a second branch as well coming through central parts of England. Now, if you just compare that then to the 6 o'clock run, it develops an area of low pressure across the south of the country during Monday. Significantly more rainfall across England and Wales, and the 500 millibar trying to get some more detail into the trough. It's actually split it into two, so you've got your main trough up here, but then there's a secondary trough here which is overrunning the top of that surface feature, which deepens off the low, makes more of that surface feature and brings more persistent outbreaks of rain. So at the moment we're just waiting for the 12 o'clock run of the GFS with bated breath to see exactly what that then produces, and does it go with the similar sort of solution. I suspect that it may well have got the trough idea correct, but as we saw initially for this weekend, it seems to deepen off those lows too much. So I think what we've got to say for bank holiday Monday is probably a cool day and some pretty heavy showers across many central and southern parts of the country. But it sure is going to be an interesting one through the bank holiday weekend, and of course we'll keep you updated on that right the way throughout. Now, JMA Day today. This is when we get the release of the latest JMA model, which takes us ahead for the next month. So this is up to the end of next Thursday. So that'll be taking us up to the 3rd of June. Can you believe it? British Isles underneath here, and what this is showing us is heights generally below normal for the time of year. Showing the ridge off towards the northwest here, so we've got the region here, but here's the trough that's through the UK. Surface high pressure is going to be building underneath that trough, but the upper heights stay low, and as you saw in yesterday and the day before's video, I was talking about the idea of these showers kind of hanging around for longer than we think, given that pressure is building, and it may take some time through the week for things to improve probably towards the back end of the week. Now, the 8 to 14 day forecast, so this one going from the 4th of September through to when will it be through to the 10th of September. This one shows the ridge built through the country, the higher than normal heights. That's the yellow colours that you see on there. You see a trough off towards the west through the Atlantic. There's our ridge, and a trough off towards the east. So it too sees the idea of high pressure. However, just want to point out to you again that down towards the south there's a trough through here. This indicating that actually pressure is lower to the northwest of Spain and the west of Spain, so in here. So what we might find is high pressure centred in here, low pressure down towards the south, that sort of flow north to northeasterly remaining fairly cool, and we've still got to watch for the risk of showers across southern parts of the country. Then on to week 3 and 4, this going from the 11th of September through until the 24th of September. And it gets us back more into a westerly flow. Still got the higher than normal heights towards the east, and again in the Atlantic here, more of a westerly flow. A few things now going into the pot though. Hurricane season kicking off in the States. Probably not going to get too active, but nevertheless, it's still there. Also, other thing that we need to consider is this is over a 2-week period. So it's seeing heights generally near normal across the UK, above to the east, above to the west. And probably what it's indicating is that we may well find those above normal heights at the early part of the period, but then not towards the end. And it might be that towards the end, the high gets going across Scandinavia again. So certainly looking at the middle second half of September, getting into more normal westerly conditions. And we do have to watch for the remnants of those hurricanes coming in across the Atlantic. Talking of which, Hurricane Erika is the system that we're following at the moment. Well, actually, it's Tropical Storm Erika, and the latest idea is that the storm is being destroyed by drier air at higher levels, and it never really gets to hurricane status. In fact, staying at a tropical storm and going across the south of Florida, up through Florida then, and out towards the eastern US, fading away as we go through the course of the early part of next week. However, this is an uncertain one. If this track is further eastwards, and it could become conducive to development again, then we get a hurricane developing in here, could go into a category 3. Certainly one moment that is being watched intensely by those in the Bahamas, by parts of Cuba, and by parts of Florida. This does have all the signs it could develop into a major storm. Several things need to come into place first of all though, and as I say, at the moment those things aren't there, so it looks as if it just stays. For now the probability is as a tropical storm, but there is still concern that actually it may well develop into something bigger. Of course, we'll keep you informed throughout. Temperature anomalies globally remaining very warm for the next week. This is the next week's forecast from Carsten Hurstein's site, and you notice here across Eastern Europe, very warm conditions, warm too across Canada, warm across central parts of Southern America, and warm across the western parts of Australia, as well as southern parts of Russia. Cool though for Eastern Australia, and cool weather, cooler than normal getting into the British Isles, as well as down through parts of Western Spain and Portugal. CFS still building in the high. Week 1 looking like this. Very similar look to the Japanese. Remember, we saw the ridge off towards the east, the trough through the UK, ridge off towards the east, as well as off towards the west. Get my east and my west mixed up. And then into week 2, there's that ridge building through the UK. Look, it's the omega shape into the ridge, and there's the lower, the normal heights down to the south, which is, as I said, we need to watch for this risk of showers. Then week 3 showing nearer normal heights through that middle section of the month, before week 4 towards the end of the month builds the ridge back in, which is of course what we've just seen on the JMA. Trough out in the Atlantic, there's that feature. What we could find is that some sort of cut off from the hurricanes coming across here cuts this off down south. That trough stays up there. This thing goes into Europe here, goes back into more of an easterly flow, but that's a long way off. But the message from this is that it tries to get the pressures built once again. And again, it's this idea of the second half of the month being more unsettled. It's still there, but we just need to watch for the rebuild of that high pressure. And the CFS continues to see El Nino growing. That's the forecast through to the end of November. Brings us up to around a plus 2.5. I still think that's a little bit high. I think it's still going to come in at around a plus 2. And finally, a chart we haven't seen for a while, North Atlantic Oscillation, the NAO from the CFS for the next few months. Quite interesting to see this one hanging around mainly negative through to the end of September. So this is this idea of the high trying to get in, the westerly flow disrupted across the Atlantic, but then look how positive it goes into the early, or the very end of September, into the first part of October, and then we get this more unsettled period after that. I think the timings are out, but this idea of the switch from the negative to the positive is one that we've been talking about. It's that release of energy, or aided by that release of energy from the Mediterranean, combined with that colder water towards the west of the UK. Okay, I'll leave you with that for now, but thanks again for watching. Don't forget your donations to Macmillan Cancer Support through justgiving.com/weatherweb. Everything is very gratefully received, and thanks for your donations so far. I'll leave you with that, though. Whatever you're doing, have a superb weekend. Thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.